Hi everyone, welcome to Gundam Time. My name is Andrea, and for today's tutorial, I wanted to give a quick one on Terraria, and that's basically how to start and stop, or basically how to start corruption and crimson and the Hallow from spreading, and how to contain corruption and crimson in hard mode, plus how to prepare for hard mode when it comes to corruption and crimson. And I've got a bunch of stuff that will make it easier. And for those of you who are just starting out in Terraria, you're not going to have access to a lot of this stuff. But if you've been playing it for a little while, then you might be able to gain access to these things. And if you have not been playing for very long, you should be able to gain a bunch of them. And I'll show you how to get around it, basically. So the first thing that I recommend that I like is my Chlorophyte armor. And the Chlorophyte armor is a hard mode armor. And again, these are the things that make it easier to prepare for hard mode. They're not required, but for those who've been playing around for a little bit, I just wanted to show what I'm currently doing. So I've got my Chlorophyte armor, and the reason I like Chlorophyte armor is because it puts this little diamond doohickey thing on the top that shoots a powerful leaf crystal to shoot at nearby enemies. It just makes it so that I can just be getting ready for hard mode without having to think about exactly what it is I am doing. Like, I don't have to, kill monsters or whatever. This will shoot them for me. The next thing I recommend is the bewitching table for your minions. So the bewitching table comes from the dungeon. Again, you have to have beat Skeletron or the dungeon guardian to get the bewitching table. If you try to go into the dungeon, you'll get killed, right? So the bewitching table, you right click on it, and it makes it so that you can use your minions more than once. It gives you 2 minions. Now I've got my minions specifically from the Martian invasion, but you can get them from all over, basically. There's tons and tons of minions that you can have. This is the first world I created. My husband introduced me to the game. We played on his world, and then eventually I created my own world, and I made lots of mistakes with it. I'm going to show you guys my new world that I've been trying to do things correctly in just a bit. But I wanted to show you first off what it looks like before you start to contain corruption. Anyway, so the next thing you're going to want is the digging mole cart. Now, the digging mole cart you can buy from the zoologist, and once you get the zoologist, and the zoologist comes when you have about 10% of the bestiary unlocked, and that is really helpful, the digging mole cart. It's one of the fastest carts in the game, so you just come up to this chick and you're like, hey, I want to buy this digging mole cart. That's what it looks like, right? And I've got it right here. And what the digging mole cart does is it lays down track for you underground, this kind of track, minecart track, for you underground without you having to do anything. As long as you've got the minecart track in your inventory, then it'll do it for you, and it actually digs for you, so you don't even have to use your pickaxe or your pick saw or whatever. I guess that's a pick saw, but your pickaxe. Anyway, okay, then the next thing I recommend is sticky dynamite. I've got that right here. Sticky dynamite is phenomenal. I wish so much when I'd done this world, I'd been using it instead of the sticky bomb, and I'm going to show you why. So let me just show you, let's go, and yes, I just endured an eclipse and a couple of my people died. So let me just show you really fast what I did when I first started in this world. To get ready for hard mode here, I went way overboard, but check this out. You see how big this was? Like, I was absolutely paranoid that I would get overrun by crimson in this case, right? And so I made it massively wide. Oh my goodness, yeah, crazy wide. But the dynamite, the width of the dynamite is what you need to basically keep things from crossing over, like vines and stuff like that. And I'll explain more about that in a little while. But if you don't have sticky dynamite, because you have to buy it from, is it the Demolitionist? Yeah, from the Demolitionist. Sorry, I've got my 10-year-old son here who is a Terraria fanatic. You buy from the Demolitionist, and then you need gel from slimes, and then you just combine them and you get the sticky dynamite. The great thing about sticky dynamite is you can throw it and it will stick to whatever it lands on, which is awesome. I don't want to demo for you right now because I don't have to rebuild things. Anyway, so I used sticky bombs. You do want sticky bombs too, just in case, because sometimes the dynamite doesn't do everything, and it'll leave like edges of land. So, and then you'll have to put the sticky bomb on either side. I like using the cosmic car key that comes from the Martian invasion again, because it makes it so that I can, fly, and I don't have to, but that isn't a later game thing. If you don't have it, just make sure that you can just stand, like, stand on the side while you're waiting for the bombs to go off. I use the cosmic car key to make it so I don't die. And again, these are things you don't need, but that do make it easier And okay, and then the last thing I use are my wings, because again, fall damage and it slows you down. I also use the magiluminescence because I like to be able to see where I'm going a little bit. And of course, it makes things faster. I like to be able to go fast. And then, of course, the Terra Spark boots. Those are very, very helpful. But again, those are later game things. So let me show you basically what you're going to want to do. So this is what I did. And I am in expert mode, and it's the large map. I created all these. They're called elevators. And you start at the very, very top, and you bomb your way down to the underworld. And if you use the dynamite, the sticky dynamite, then that's the width that you'll need. If you use sticky bombs, you need to do a couple layers of them. Dynamite is just so much faster. And then I use the minecart to do grids, to complete the grid line and do horizontal shafts. And those are super, super helpful for getting across the map quickly if you don't have the shell phone. And it's great. They're also great for keeping corruption and the Hallow from spreading. Now, you can see that I have not finished the space. I've actually, look, I died right there during the eclipse. Anyway, I did not put the elevators close enough together. I wish I'd done them closer together. I did that around my main base, because I wanted to make sure I didn't get overrun by corruption or crimson close to my main base or Hallow. But what I wish I'd done and what I ended up doing in my next world, I will show you in just a minute, is basically I put the elevators closer together so that I would have less land, or less map area for the crimson / corruption and the Hallow to creep through and to overtake. Okay, so once you get into hard mode, as soon as you kill the wall of flesh, once you defeat the wall of flesh, you're automatically in hard mode. And the moment that happens, you will have a strip of corruption or crimson. If you're in crimson, this is a crimson world. My other world's corruption. I prefer corruption. You will get a strip of corruption and a strip of Hallow that will start down in the underworld and that will V up. Not both of them, just one of them. So right here, you can see this is my Hallow. My Hallow V'd up right here. It came up through this area because this is the desert. You can see that's Hallow that's converted it. And then my crimson V'd up actually over here. So it went up through the ground, and then it came over here and it converted a lot of my ice biome, my snow biome, into crimson. And I did not know when I did this world that it would do that. I just entered a hard mode just because I wanted to defeat bosses and get my chlorophyte armor, and I didn't realize that it would do this. And so that's one reason why I've got the elevators so far apart, and they're also the reason why I just let it run rampant. Now, sorry, we're going to go home, and I'm going to show you, like, basically how you're going to be monitoring a lot of your world. For those of you who don't know yet, you're going to come to the Dryad, you're going to talk to her and talk to her about status. So Andrea's main world is 13% Hallow and 21% Crimson. I have a lot of work to do. I agree with that. So what I was going to show you is, in order for your elevators to be beneficial, you need to have them be at least 10 blocks wide, 10 tiles wide. And this right here is better than, the other one I showed you, the one where it's massively wide. It doesn't need to be as wide as it was. One of the mistakes I made in this world is I didn't realize that stone could be corruptible, and so I lined things with stone and they got corrupted, and the corruption spread across because, especially this shaft. This shaft is only 2 columns wide, and then it's got the web rope. Corruption can spread across things that are 2 blocks wide or more, or less. And if you've got vines like over here, so I've got vines right here. Look at that. See, they've been corrupted because my corruption, the vines can go across, and this is just stone. Anyway, so you need to have them be at least 10 tiles wide for vines. If they're not 10 tiles wide or tall, the vines will spread the corruption, especially when you're closer to the surface, which is where the vines are, in the surface part. If there are no vines, then 3 tiles wide, but I'm going to show you guys basically how paranoid I got with my new world. Let me go ahead and switch over there. So I'm going to pause the recording, and okay, so this is, hold on a second. Okay, so this is my new world right here, and let me show you what I did with this. So I did the elevators closer together, like I said, a lot closer together. I didn't do as many of these across. I didn't end up needing it. And then here you can see this is where the Hallow came up, and this is where the corruption came up. So it forms a V starting in your underworld, and it goes up. And as soon as I defeated the Wall of Flesh, I came down to the underworld and I found where corruption. I didn't start with Hallow because Hallow doesn't spread as quickly underground. Plus, it's not as destructive as corruption or crimson is. And so I came down here. As soon as I did, I came down here. I went to this minecart and I just went across slowly looking for evidence of corruption. Like I said, my world here is corruption. And then I bombed my way up all the way around it, and then I bombed my way down all the way around it just to make sure that it couldn't spread. And then I went through and I dug. These are just two wide, not two like there's two wide, 2 block wide little elevators, just so that I could go up and down easily. And then I used the contaminate. Is it called the contaminator? Yes, the contaminator. And I used the contaminator with green solution, and I got rid of all the corruption. You don't want to get rid of all the corruption or the crimson because you're going to need it for later game stuff. You know, when you're doing quests and things like that, you want to have at least a little bit of corruption. Now, let me show you. We're going to come down here. I'll show you what this world is currently at when it comes to status. So 7% Hallow and 6% corrupt. The world is in balance, and that is my goal right now. Eventually, I may get rid of all of my corruption. I don't know. So I've got this spot here. I've got a little spot over here that I got rid of most of, and then I've got this spot right here, and that's pretty basic. 2 to 4 spots when your world generates. That's pretty standard. But anyway, so I've got the elevators here wider or closer together. Like I said, I've got the shafts that go horizontal. Oh, let me show you what I was going to show you with them. So just going to show you guys one of the shafts that I made. So while I was mine carting it, you know, with the mole cart, I put wood along the top, just all the way across every single shaft, because I went overboard. I wanted to make sure, extra sure, that my world would be easily controlled, because my other world is not. And then the world that my husband started and I worked with him on, we didn't know a whole lot of this stuff about corruption, and I think his world was corruption, and it ended up taking over the base, and the NPCs moved out, and you want to avoid that as much as possible, because having them move out is bad. You actually want NPCs in your world, unless you want to go complete hard mode and just live in a world that's basically a hellscape constantly. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. So that's basically how to stop corruption and crimson and Hallow from spreading. If you do not have those things, like I was saying, the things that make it easier to do things like, you know, the cosmic car key, then what you would just do is you would just jump, you would drop your bomb, and then you jump up and you just wait for it to go off, or your dynamite or whatever, and you go down that way. If you don't have chlorophyte, you do want, if you're in pre-hard mode, you're going to want the best armor you can get, which would be, I'm pulling up my sheet here. My son actually could probably just tell me, what's the best hard mode, or best pre-hard mode armor?
Molten armor.
Molten armor? Okay, so yeah, I've got my sheet here, right here. Yeah, the molten armor is the best pre-hard mode armor. And that comes from, I'm not going to go into, I can do a tutorial on armors themselves. Anyway, so you want to make sure that you've got good armor on. You've got some as good of weapons as you possibly can to start your elevator. And then, yeah, just create as many of them as you can. I do kind of wish I'd done it closer together, but now that I'm in hard mode, it didn't end up mattering that much. While I was cleaning things out, I ended up having to take blue solution from here, from the truffle, to fill in this area, because once you use a green solution, it will turn it into, and you can see it looks like I might have missed oh no, that's gold. Okay, whatever. It will turn it into green biome or forest biome, and so you'll have regular trees in here, and you'll not grow mushrooms anymore. I like to keep things the way the game generated them, and so I ended up converting that back into the mushroom biome. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell icon to be alerted to future videos. If you are one of my existing YouTube subscribers, comment below and let me know if you've ever played Terraria. And if you have not, it's a really fun game. It is one of my favorite games. I've been playing it for over like 2 years now, almost 2 years. It's one of my favorite games still. And I will show you guys pretty much a bunch of different stuff. I plan on doing a whole bunch of tutorials. So if you have any questions or tutorials you would like me to do, go ahead and comment and put those below. And that's pretty much it for this video. I will talk to you all later. Bye.